Nigeria is a disgrace. The whole thing is a disgrace. They're killing people by the thousands. It's a genocide, and I'm really angry about it. And we pay, we give a lot of subsidy to Nigeria. We're going to end up stopping. The government's done nothing. They're very ineffective. They're killing Christians at will. And, until I got involved in it 2 weeks ago, nobody even talked about it.
Well, President Trump is reacting today to what we've been covering for a couple of weeks now, but really leaned in with my panel that I hosted at the UN at the request of Ambassador Michael Waltz. And he also invited superstar rapper Nicki Minaj, because she has a pastor who's Nigerian and has jumped into this as an advocate for those under attack. Horrific violence in Nigeria against mostly Christians, and a third mass kidnapping this week alone. So it's getting worse under President Tinubu over there. In this attack, gunmen targeted a Catholic school just days after that attack on a Christian church. Islamic terrorists in Nigeria. There are now 22 of those groups, including Boko Haram, and some of them are aligned with ISIS. They are targeting Christians and have been for years. Some experts, as well as the president, are saying that the mass slaughter needs to be contained.
They've touched on it.
And you heard him here. The government now over there has to do something about this. I joined U.S. Ambassador Waltz for an event on the crisis earlier this week.
I served in Nigeria helping train their Navy SEALs for hostage rescues and to go find these girls. And Harris, it is horrific what is happening to them right now. We were able to get many of them back, but not all of them. And as a father of a daughter, it's just horrific to think little girls, 8, 9 years old, being kidnapped out of their schools and sold into Islamic sex slavery.
Senior Foreign Affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has the latest. Greg.
Hi, Harris. That's right. More violence in Nigeria. Christians again under fire. A Catholic secondary school in the town of Gwara in northwestern Nigeria attacked by gunmen. Local media says as many as 52 kids were kidnapped. A desperate search involving military and police is on right now. And yes, earlier this week, a Catholic church nearby was attacked. 2 people were killed and 38 worshipers abducted. The ransom per person, $69,000. Thousands of Christians have been killed in recent years there, leading some, yes, to speak of a Christian genocide. President Trump has branded Nigeria a country of particular concern regarding religious freedom, threatening to apply sanctions and send in U.S. troops. Here's how a State Department official put it at a congressional briefing yesterday.
The Trump administration is developing a plan to incentivize and compel the Nigerian government to better protect Christian communities and improve religious freedom.
Still, the Trump administration and analysts say others are getting hurt, too, by Islamist terrorists, organized bandits, militants. 25 children were kidnapped at another school in western Nigeria on Monday. 1 escaped. That happened in a Muslim area. Harris, Nigerian officials claim they are not persecuting any religion, but many analysts say at the very least they are certain that the government officials are not protecting their own citizens.
They've touched on it.
Donald Trump now is telling Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he said, you cannot stop Biafra, even if because we know that for a fact that Tinubu has run and has gone to meet the British monarchy as regards the division of Nigeria, because for a fact, you know that the American government have accepted Biafra referendum. And a moment from now, the inauguration of Biafra, the first inauguration is about to kickstart. Now Tinubu has run to, the British monarchy for assistance. And yesterday we saw the bomb blast in Nigeria. Trump is saying, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what are you doing in UK when they are innocent people that are being killed daily by these terrorists? What is your take as regards Tinubu now running to King Charles and Ken Starmer for help because Biafra is about to be inaugurated as a sovereign nation?
Well, you can see when we say it that the diplomatic struggle to recognize Biafra has taken a global, a dimension ever since Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was unfortunately sentenced by APC under Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government. And the reality on ground, having seen that a lot of things are working for the successful takeoff of Biafra. The intelligence report getting to Aso Rock, according to the report we are able to lay our hand upon, and why that the Prime Minister of Britain, Keir Starmer, did not officially invite Bola Ahmed Tinubu to UK. It was the Prince Charles, that actually, invited Bola Ahmed Tinubu to UK, where he took, including Godswin Akpabio and the rest of them, are already in UK now. So the problem is this now: who actually invited, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not the Prime Minister himself. So that means it's not the government of Britain that actually invited Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The people that invited Bola Ahmed Tinubu are the people that said, after 100 years that Nigeria can go de-amalgamate. De-amalgamate means, you can forget about our amalgamation and, do something other else. And from what we are gathering, Keir Starmer is not too comfortable with the continued killing and unity of Nigeria. I remember that the UK lawmakers have already attacked the presence of Tinubu in UK. But as you look at it very well, that it is a monarchical system in Britain. People who formed a kind of commonwealth, and now they are inviting Bola Ahmed. They will not tell you that it's all about bilateral, that it's all about trade, it's about commerce, it's not about British interests and Nigerian interests at the end of the day. But the truth of the matter, they will not tell you. They lie a lot, propaganda, But the real thing is that why he was actually invited immediately to appear before the monarchical government in Britain is for them to ask him questions. It has gotten to that point, and look at what is already on ground. The British government also knows that world leaders are already tapping on the Biafran inauguration, tapping on the Biafran freedom more seriously at this point in time. And the UK government, or the UK, or the British influence around the world, it has continued to actually go down in terms of what the US are doing now, what the Israeli government are doing, what the Australian government are doing, what the Italian government are doing. The UK, who actually pulled out from EU, seems to be alone and does not have much influence around the global world now, especially with the people who are powerfully, running down and controlling the world at the moment now. So the visit, a lot of people will not understand, the real reason why he was actually invited. They're asking questions. What do we do at that point in time? A lot of people are saying that the reason for that visit is all about Nigerian possible breakup. A lot of people are saying no, it's not about breakup. It's about what is going to befall Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the end of the day. Whether the fear of Trump, he's afraid that Trump might actually intervene immediately. There is calm returns to the Middle East, and the possibility of him being picked, to answer questions of some of the things he actually needed his presence, in terms of what he did and what he's still doing now. But the most, unfortunate thing, embarrassment, is just breaking news. Donald Trump has tweeted that Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot run to anywhere, and he cannot go there and start demarketing what the world leaders have actually agreed on, especially on the Biafran possible takeoff. You cannot demarket Biafra in the UK. The UK have rejected, and that's telling him very clearly that he should leave, being chased out completely now back to Nigeria. He should leave whatever he's doing there, and they should order for his immediate, return to Nigeria to come and face the consequences of a nation who has no leadership. You can see a lot of people have, but the government, the propaganda government of APC will come and actually deny that, and they will say
Sunday they have denied that. They said that tweet was a lie, that Donald Trump didn't say that Donald Trump didn't make any tweets.
That's what they will always say. You can see what the kind of embarrassment that Ebola brought to Nigerian government, in Al Jazeera. So they will always have a way to deny it, But the more they are doing this, the more they are creating more problem for the administration. Instead of coming up, diplomatically to kind of narrate or paint what the U.S. government has tweeted, he said it very clearly. He should be chased out of in England. That after all, Nigeria has no leader. You cannot be a leader where there is suicide bombing everywhere in Maiduguri, and Nigeria is in total breakdown, and you are just there, cutting ribbon on a red carpet, pretending no official statement from the presidency over what happened and the way Nigerians are being, disallowed on a daily basis. So you can see that it has become a very serious issue. But it is born out of incompetency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to manage Nigeria international affairs, to manage Nigeria international diplomatic affairs, to be a bit sophisticated with good hands, Democrats, the technocrats who can, understand the global politics. Nigeria image has continued to go down, unfortunately, under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And the man, if you look at him deeply, he seems to be less concerned of what is going to happen. And of course, that has triggered so many questions why the Northerners are now regretting, why they actually, brought him to power. And even the British government, apart from the instruction that he's going to receive from the traditional ruler, they call him, I can tell you there's a traditional ruler, because I see no thing that the Prince Charles and the Kamala or whatever.
But a lot of people say the King Charles and the British monarchy are the one that have the finances as regards disintegration of Nigeria as a country.
Yes, the power lies. Let me tell you, a lot of people might have that insinuation, but I can tell you very clearly that the fact still remains that Britain currently now have no influence. Whatever that is going to decide will be decided by the world leaders, and they will not have any option. You can see ever since killings has been going on in Nigeria, the British government, neither the Charles himself has ever come out and make an official statement that this thing is actually condemnable. And you can see the way they are silent is the same way the northern leaders, Sultan of Sokoto, Gumi, and the rest of them, and in Tinubu's government, taking from Ribadu to Matawale and all of them, who has been accused of sponsoring terrorism, to the extent Gumi said that that they know their names, terrorists, where they are living, they know what they are doing, and they, to an extent, they are the ones that are empowering them with funds, to carry out that. It's an allegation, but unfortunately, because it wasn't an Igbo man that made that official statement, I would not see anywhere the government is going to, or even the DSS is going to call Gumi and question him over that kind of statement. You can see that the kind of said it, that Britain has removed their hand completely from anything that has to do with they are just trying to create a certain impression that they are with Nigeria, but in real fact they are not with Nigeria. How come we are seeing other nations condemning what is happening in Nigeria, and we are claiming that our colonial whatever in Nigeria has never uttered a word for over 40 years? Killings have been going on in Nigeria. So you're not telling me that they actually want a good for Nigeria. They want better things to happen in Nigeria without condemning how the unity of Nigeria has continued to trigger, killings in all ramifications in Nigeria. So that's why I'm telling you that the visitation is a breakup visitation. They have to tell him the real truth, that we cannot be able to do anything for now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that's the last reception we are going to give any Nigerian president for now. Let it be that it's actually coming from you. It's okay. Thank God you are going to likely, possibly be the last president of Nigeria. And he said 37 years after. He said, now, if you look at 37 years after, they are inviting somebody to come there, and you are not suspecting anything. This is over 70 years of Nigeria independence, or close to 70 years of Nigeria independence. They have never been able to say anything pertaining the way Nigerians are being governed. You know, the most populous black nation in Africa, you know, they govern, they colonize, they have not been able to say anything. Then you are not looking at it that there is a royal visit. Okay, it's not a royal visit, anything. There's nothing like royal visit. They have just invited him to tell him, you know, that at this point where we find ourselves now, you know, the global power, the strength of the British Empire has also departed from the global world influence. The people who are controlling the world at this point in time now are singing a different song completely from whatever plan. You know, I can tell you that whatever happens to Nigeria, decisions that have been taken against Nigeria by this world leader, Britain will not have any option that to align with the reality.
They don't have any other option.
They will not have any other option. And they're also battling, you know, the issue of Sharia in London, in UK. There's this surge of Islamization, you know, Islam taking over UK currently now. And the people are resisting it. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go and listen to, you know, some of the MKs, you know, the House of Lords members, you know, the Conservatives and the Labour Party leaders who are seriously trying to take UK back from what is being seen as the structures of the Britain being controlled by the Arabs and Muslims who are busy introducing and building cells to champion Islamization presence in the UK government today. So that is already there already, you know, and for the fact that it has come to that level, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu need to understand very clearly that just like what other people are saying, that when he comes back, he is going to face another narrative entirely. So for Trump to have questioned his presence in UK currently now means a lot. And to an extent, he's one of the most powerful presidents in the world currently now. Forget what is happening in the Middle East, you know, he's still conscious of what is going to happen or what is happening in Nigeria. So he tweeted that he should be sent back to Nigeria with immediate effect to come and face the consequences of APC government from Buhari era to this point, where it has become something of international, you know, reference over how the Nigerian government has lost governance to people, bandits, and jihadists. That means, you know, Nigeria is gradually losing sovereignty, irrespective of how you actually, you know, look at it.
Okay, but a lot of people have said the British are the cause of Nigerians' current travail. They said these were the people that hand over to the Fulanis. Even when Nnamdi Azikiwe was the one that was educated, they called him the ceremonial president. While Tafawa Balewa, that was not educated, was called the Prime Minister of Nigeria. But do you think that the British, they made a mistake by, you know, handing over to the Fulanis to be in power, you know, back then?
I think the southern leaders as at that time, Azikiwe and Awolowo, we are just not too careful, you know, and they allowed that document to go to the northern Fulanis or northern whatever they call themselves as at that time. You know, if that Awolowo and Azikiwe, we are very conscious of it, they would have made sure that the northern leaders or government or people as at that time do not have access to that document. They would have signed those documents on behalf of Nigeria. Maybe I would have been seeing another narrative. But Lord Lugard actually not know what he wanted, you know, because of what they perceive from the south as at that time. But, you know, like what we are hearing now, the lawmakers are not comfortable with Tinubu's presence in UK currently now. I mean, the UK lawmakers themselves, you know, is questioning Keir Starmer to do the needful, get him to answer questions, you know, on human rights and abuse and all the rest of them. And most of them are not comfortable. They are watching Bola Ahmed Tinubu, how he sentenced Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment, a British citizen. And you think it is funny. Go and listen to what Mike Arnold is talking about today. that these are the things we need to talk about. How can you sentence a British citizen and the British government are just quiet over that? You know, so they are saying that it should be questioned. You know, why Kestama should question Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government in Nigeria, and I think he's going there after the visit with the royal family. He'll be moving to the Downing Street to meet with Kestama, the British Prime Minister, and the lawmakers are insisting that possibly they don't want to see him, and if actually they want to see him, he has questions to answer. And the United States government said he should be chased out of London. He has nothing to offer, and they cannot stop his president trying to lobby the British monarchs, the British. How will I put it? You know, to the King Charles, Queen, the King and Queen, the monarchical democracy leaders in Britain to stop Biafra. Trump is saying it's not going to be possible, and as it stands now, he should be chased out of London.
Thank you.